Party's on Warden versus Rivera. Step forward, please.
40-year-old Chris Warden claimed he rented his guest house to auto detailer Michelle Rivera, but she ran up huge phone bills and caused widespread damage.
Order, all rise. Now, this is number 52 on the calendar in the matter of Warden versus Rivera. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Warden, you rented a room in your home to the defendant. It's a room that's attached to your house in the back, according to
the garage, yes.
And you were charging her a nominal rent, a couple $100 a month?
Yes.
Now you're suing her for $5,000.
Yes.
She, in turn, has decided to countersue you for $5,000. And I assume, since they're both nice round numbers, each of you is going to tell me why you're suing the other for $5,000. Go.
Well, a couple months after she moved in, the phone bill started going up. So I told her that she would have to take care of that as part of the rent. She agreed. Well, several months later, it got up really high, about $1,900.
For a phone bill?
Phone bill, yes.
Who do you talk to? Madam, who do you talk to for $1,900?
It was a friend of mine that was calling collect.
From where?
Oakland in Hawaii.
Calling collect on his phone?
Yeah, well, I was paying the bill for his phone bill as well.
Listen, whenever my husband complains, I'm going to get a copy of that phone bill and stick it in front of his face.
I've got plenty.
I have too.
So how much do you owe him for the phone?
I've paid amounts. I have them all written down here. For the phone, I've made a $1,000 payment right before I moved out of the house.
How much does she still owe you for the phone?
About $1,500.
Do you have proof of that, sir? She says she owes you about $300.
Okay, well,
Around that area.
here we go. I can give you all these, Your Honor.
No, don't give them to me. Show them to her. Please. Look at them.
Okay.
Take a
So
break.
these are your only receipts, right? that you
Listen
paid?
to me. Those are the phone bills. Is that correct?
These are the phone bills.
All right. Just a second.
I've taken full responsibility for the phone bill. And
So
I've
how
told him
much
that.
do you owe him for the phone?
Well, I moved out because he changed the locks on my door.
I didn't ask you anything about locks. I asked you about phone.
I don't know. I don't know the total amount.
What's the total amount there, sir?
$1,538.38.
Those for long distance and collect calls?
Yes.
Good. Bert, could I have those, please? All right. What else?
Well, she had me arrested
For what?
for battery.
Okay, tell me about that, sir.
Well, okay. I confronted her about the phone bill many times, and she skipped out on this many times. So I finally saw her going past the window, so I got out of the house and I stopped her and said, Michelle, what about the phone bill? And she said, I'm in a hurry, I'm in a hurry. I said, no, just tell me when you're going to pay. Well, one thing led to another, and she's in her truck, and I grabbed the keys because I didn't want her to leave. I wanted to know when I was going to get this phone bill, because she was 90% moved out.
You grabbed the keys?
I grabbed the keys.
From where?
From her ignition.
Okay.
Anyway, I didn't get them all the way in my hand. They fell to the floor. Anyway, a couple guys pulled up, and she was crying, so I just let her leave. So about 3 hours later, I see a flashlight shining through my back window, and it's the police. So I go out there, and they talk to me a little bit, and they say, well, Michelle says you assaulted her, and we're going to arrest you. And I said, well, you know, look at her. There's no marks on her. And she says, well, we know, but if she wants you arrested for battery, we have to arrest you, otherwise it's a felony on us.
So you were arrested?
So I was arrested, and the end result of that was I went to court, got very sick in court, had to go to the hospital. I had to pay a $506 fine for disturbing the peace because there was no evidence for
So why did you have to pay a fine? Did you have a trial?
I paid the fine because I was...
Did you have a trial,
No.
Mr. Warden? So you pled guilty to disturbing the peace?
Yes, I did.
So you pled guilty to disturbing the peace, and your penalty was a fine.
Yes.
So what do you want her to pay that for? Why didn't you go to trial?
It was her fault.
No.
Well, okay.
No,
I got
Mr.
sick
Warden,
that day.
Mr. Warden,
Okay.
you have to understand, sir. If you had gone to trial and you were acquitted and you wanted to sue her for damages, for your costs, your attorney's fees, lost wages, whatever,
Okay.
that's legitimate. But when you go to court and you plead guilty, then you can say, well, I'm going to plead guilty, I'll take whatever consequences there are, and then I'm going to go sue her. Because what you said was I disturbed the peace in this incident. Right?
Right.
Well, I'm not going to go behind that, sir. You pled guilty.
Okay.
The judge say to you, you're telling the truth when you're pleading guilty, Mr. Warden?
No. I just signed a paper.
Well, did you read the paper?
Yeah, I signed away my rights and the little thing they gave me, yes.
You signed away your rights, and
Yeah.
it said, the piece of paper that you signed, this is an acknowledgement that you are pleading guilty to these charges.
Yes, you're right.
You are giving up your rights to have a trial. You have an absolute right under the Constitution
Okay,
of
yes.
this state. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so forget that amount of money. What's
All
next?
right,
But I'm going to
well-
find out. Did you have him arrested?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because he grabbed me by my neck and
Just a second. Are you telling me he grabbed you by your neck?
he grabbed me by my neck and pinned me up against the seat in my truck.
Tell me how that happened, Miss Rivera.
I came home from work, and just before that, Chris was always leaving notes on my door. I have a 3-year-old child, and he threatens me in front of my child. He throws trash cans at my front door.
Why didn't you move?
I was in the process of moving. I gave him notice that I would be out by the 30th of the month. And meanwhile, he's making my life miserable. He's left notes on my door saying that I'm not allowed to have any boys staying at my house.
Just late night visitors. She
No,
had
that's
traffic
not what
through
the
my
note
house
said.
all night long.
I did not. Here's the notes that he would pin to my door with
me
steak
see 'em.
knives. Here's more.
Did you write all these notes, sir?
Well, I don't see them, but I did leave notes on her
Well,
door
I'm going to
telling
show
her.
them to you. Why didn't you just move to evict her?
Well, I made it clear that she was only supposed to be there a few months. She wasn't supposed to be there. That wasn't a rental property. It's not a rental room. I only let her move there as a favor.
What else are you suing her for, Mr. Warden?
Well, at the court, I was very sick. And one of the reasons I just wanted to get out of there that day and be done with it, I went to the hospital that night, and I spent the night in the hospital that night, stress-related, and then 2 days later I had surgery, and I lost a month of work because of that.
Yeah.
And it was all due to stress, this stress. I can't believe the things she was doing.
And the fact that you've been under stress and strain as a result of this incident, sir, is not something that I intend to compensate you for. You entered into this agreement with her, and if you had an illegal tenancy in the back of your house, that's something that you have to deal with if you're doing something that's illegal. If you can't have her evicted, right? The law is there for your protection as well as the tenant's protection. If you have a room that you're not supposed to rent out to somebody, you can't evict them, and if they make your life miserable, as she did, told me, then you take your chances if you can't get her out. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, so
and I
she's
knew
not
I was taking my chances when she
Well, you
moved
take
in.
your chances, but she owes you for the phone bill. That's absolutely clear, $1,538. As I said, that's some hefty phone bill. Now, Miss Rivera, you've countersued him for $5,000. I'd like to hear about this.
Well, initially, I wasn't planning on suing anybody. After the arrest, I felt really bad. I felt bad in the first place because he was a friend. I went through a lot of emotional stress during the months that I was living there because of these notes and the things that the way he was
A lot of
behaving.
those notes, madam, refer to the phone bill.
Okay, but
Just a second. A lot of the notes refer to the phone bill. He rented you a place to stay for $200 a month, which is very cheap, and you had access to his phone, and you went into and you used his phone, and as far as I'm concerned, abused his phone by having total strangers collect his phone collect to the tune of $1,900 and $1,000. That's outrageous, right? And when he asks you for the money, you blow him off. What do you expect him to do? Kiss you on both cheeks?
No, but
Ms. Rivera, you're not going to stand there and look and say to me, well, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. You did. You did do something wrong. So you want to tell me again why you think I should even consider giving you $5,000 and for what?
I didn't blow him off on the phone bill. I made payments. I have the list of the
You
payments
owe
that
him
I've made.
$1,538 that he hasn't been paid. You think the phone company is going to say to him, I'll wait until see the outcome of what happens when you go to court? He's got to pay it.
The phone bill is paid as of this morning. I've called the phone company this morning before I came in here and verified there's right now a $26.62.
What does that have to do with you? Did you pay it?
No, when I left the house, I had to move out of my house at 11 o'clock at night. All of my belongings.
Hey,
with
listen,
my child.
you acknowledge, if I believe you, what you said in your papers at least, you said, well, I maybe owe him $300 on a phone bill.
Yeah.
Right? I want to tell you something. That's outrageous. When did you move out?
I moved out on, I believe, May 8th.
So for a couple of months, how dare you owe him $300, if I believe you, $300 on a phone bill. And it was a lot more than $300. The fact that he's paid it so that he would be able to maintain his phone in his house, right, is none of your business. I want to know why you think he owes you anything.
Well, basically, with the phone bill part, I wasn't going to go back to his house again after he assaulted me. I mean, that was very clear. When he got out of jail in the morning, he called my voicemail and left a message that I now owe him another $250 for his bail. It's just a matter of playing games. I was waiting for this battery case to go up into court. I haven't been notified yet that he even had a trial date. I wasn't going to put myself in that, seat to go there where he can abuse me some more.
I want to tell you something. I don't see that he abused you, and I'm not considering the fact that the district attorney allowed him to plead guilty to disorderly conduct rather than to an assault, even an assault misdemeanor, as evidence of the fact that he actually assaulted you on the day in question. Assault to a plea of guilty to disorderly conduct is hardly a felony. It's not even a misdemeanor. It's probably in this jurisdiction no more than a violation. Now, you still haven't told me why you think he owes you a quarter, Miss Rivera.
Well, I didn't want to file a countersuit against
Good,
him.
then you didn't.
Okay.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,538. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please.
Thank you.
It's none of your business what I do.
That's right.
Okay.
And I don't care what you do.
Good, and I don't care what you do either.
Good. You stay away from my house and
I don't
car.
come near your house. I don't
You
touch
do.
your car. You think
Yes,
I really
you
waste
do.
my time on you?
Yes, you
Chris, I
have.
haven't given you a second thought since I left there.
Baloney. Then
You're
why
sick.
are you here?
You're sick. Well, you
What a
grabbed me by my
bitch.
neck and you know it.
I did not touch
Go
you.
ahead, call
Where-
names.
Show me
Feel
some
good?
marks.
You feel good?
You think
Feel good?
I'd break your neck if I touched you?
Are you threatening me?
No, I never threatened you. Never.
Parties on Sanchez versus Stemwittle. Step forward, please.
22-year-old student Christian Sanchez is suing his ex-fiancée, 23-year-old Amy Stemwettle, for money he claims she owed him when they broke up. Amy says he tried to blackmail her with a nude photo.
You were together for how many years?
About a year and a half.
That's right. About that time.
And during that year and a half, you lived together for a relatively short period of time. How long?
About 6
From
months.
June to end of September.
And you say that the defendant owes you some $755. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Tell me for what?
It's for rent, phone bills, and cable bills.
You moved into an apartment together,
Yes.
A house.
House.
a house. Signed a lease?
Yes.
Both your names? And what happened, Mr. Sanchez?
Well, our engagement, we broke up, and she was looking.
When?
We broke up on August 9th, 95.
Why?
It just didn't work out.
Okay. But according to your complaint, the defendant lived in the house after August of 95.
Yes, she did.
How did that come about?
Well, she asked to live a little longer because she was looking for a place to stay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was looking for an apartment at the time.
So you broke up on August 9th. When did you finally move out of this house?
Probably the beginning of October.
And what arrangements had you made for the bills during that time?
We arranged that she asked, like, she knew that she owed me money, and she
Don't tell me what she knew. What conversation did you have?
how to arrange the monthly installment. She wanted to pay by monthly installments what she owed me.
What did she owe you for?
The rent, the phone, and the cable bills.
You mean from August 9th until the beginning of October? That's 2 months.
It started from May 26, 95, when she started accruing a debt to me.
Is that right?
No, we were engaged. We were living like we were married. We put all of our money together, and he would write all the checks.
So according to you, you didn't owe him any money? How much was the whole rent on the house?
Per month,
Yes.
500.
Well, for the time that you lived there after you broke your engagement and you were looking for a place to live, Were you paying him rent?
I never expected to be humiliated at my own sister's engagement party. The lights were warm, the smiles rehearsed, and everything about the evening felt carefully arranged. The kind of night where nothing is accidental and everyone knows the role they're supposed to play. My sister Evelyn laughed easily, her voice carrying across the yard as people leaned in to hear her.
She was always good at that.
Making a moment feel bigger just by standing in it. When she said it, when she introduced me as just admin at a courthouse, people chuckled like it was a harmless joke. Someone clinked their glass. Someone else nodded like it all made sense. My chest burned, but I stayed quiet. Because that's what I always did. My name is Verity. And, for as long as I can remember, my family has loved neat labels. The kind you can explain in one sentence. The kind that don't invite follow-up questions. The kind that make other people comfortable. My sister Evelyn was always the impressive one. Ambitious. Charismatic. Loud in the best way. She could walk into a room and somehow make it orbit around her, without even trying. Teachers adored her. Relatives bragged about her. My parents leaned forward whenever she spoke, like whatever she said next might be important. And me? I was the quiet one. The reliable one. The one who works at the courthouse. That phrase followed me everywhere. Thanksgiving tables. Birthday dinners. Casual phone calls with relatives who hadn't seen me in years. "So, you're still doing admin work?" they'd ask, smiling like they were being kind.
Either not. Yeah.
Still there. And the conversation would move on. What they didn't see was how carefully I'd learned to stay invisible around them. Not because I was ashamed, but because every time I tried to explain what I actually did, their eyes glazed over. Or worse, they looked uncomfortable, like my words were threatening the balance they were used to. Especially Evelyn. I learned early that my accomplishments made people you. The table went still. Not polite still.
Not awkward still.
The kind of stillness where everyone suddenly realizes they're part of something they didn't plan for. Every eye shifted toward me. I could feel it physically, the weight of attention pressing against my chest, my shoulders, my throat. Conversations that had been buzzing just seconds ago died mid-breath. Forks hovered above plates. Someone's laugh cut off too abruptly. Daniel's question hung in the air. "What exactly do you do at the courthouse?" For a moment, no one spoke. Not because they were being respectful, but because the question didn't fit the script. I didn't answer right away. I looked down at my hands resting on the table. One thumb traced the rim of my glass slowly, deliberately. The wood beneath my fingers was cool and solid, grounding me. I could hear the low hum of the string lights overhead, the faint clatter of dishes from the kitchen. Life continuing, even as something quietly cracked open. In that pause, memories rushed in. Every holiday where I'd been asked to help set up instead of sit down. Every dinner where my work was reduced to a single word that made people comfortable. Every time I'd started to explain, only to stop halfway when I saw their eyes glaze over. I remembered standing alone in my apartment late at night, shoes still on, rereading notes, preparing for another long day. Knowing none of it would ever be mentioned at the table. Not because it wasn't important, but because it didn't fit the version of me they preferred. Across from me, Evelyn was smiling too hard. Her jaw was tight, her eyes sharp. She could feel the shift, even if she didn't understand it yet. My mother stared down at her plate like it had suddenly become fascinating. My father reached for his glass, and then stopped halfway, his hand hovering in uncertainty. Daniel didn't rush me. He didn't repeat the question. He just waited. And something inside me finally settled. I realized then that I hadn't been protected. For a long moment, no one spoke. Not because there was nothing to say, but because everything that could be said had already landed. Evelyn stood there, her hands clenched at her sides, chest rising too fast. She looked around the table like she was waiting for someone, anyone, to rescue her, to laugh it off, to defend her, to reset the familiar order. No one did. Daniel was the first to move. He stood slowly, pushing his chair back with deliberate care. The sound was soft, but it echoed louder than Evelyn's outburst had. "Evelyn," he said carefully. "The way you spoke to her." "Don't," she snapped, cutting him off. "You're supposed to be on my side. I am on the side of the truth, he replied. His voice wasn't raised. That somehow made it worse. And I don't know how I missed this. How I let it happen. She stared at him like he'd spoken a foreign language. You're choosing her? She demanded. Daniel didn't answer right away. He looked at me instead. Not apologetic. Not guilty. Just clear. I'm choosing honesty, he said finally. That was the moment it broke. Not loudly. Not explosively. But completely. Evelyn's confidence, the thing that had always filled every room, collapsed inward on itself. Her eyes darted around again, desperate now. My parents sat frozen, caught between the daughter they'd always praised and the one they'd never truly seen. My mother's hands were folded tightly in her lap. She looked small somehow, like the night had aged her all at once. My father stared at the table, jaw clenched, avoiding everyone's eyes. This is unbelievable, Evelyn whispered. Her voice wavered. You think you're better than me now? I shook my head. No, I said quietly. I think I finally stopped pretending to be less. She flinched, like the words had found a place she didn't know how to protect. For a second, something raw flickered behind her anger. Fear. Uncertainty. The realization that the version of me she'd built her confidence against no longer existed. Then A few days passed. No calls from Evelyn. No messages. No carefully worded apologies disguised as explanations. Just distance. The kind that settles in when something breaks and no one knows how to put it back together. My parents called again. I let it ring, not out of anger, but because I needed the quiet. I needed to exist without being pulled back into the role I'd just stepped out of. Then one afternoon there was another knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, Evelyn stood there.
No makeup.
Hair pulled back.
No jewelry.
The version of her that never showed up at family gatherings. For a second, neither of us spoke. She looked smaller somehow. Not weaker, just unguarded. I didn't know where else to go, she said finally. I stepped aside and let her in. We didn't hug. We didn't sit close. We sat across from each other like two people meeting without a script. I didn't mean for it to go that far, she said, staring at the floor. I thought it was harmless. I waited. Silence has a way of pulling the truth out when you don't rush to fill it. I was scared, she admitted, of being ordinary, of being second. The words hung there, fragile and exposed. For the first time, she wasn't performing. I needed to be the impressive one, she continued, the one everyone talked about. And when you started becoming more, it felt like something was being taken from me. I believed her, not because it excused what she did, but because it finally explained it. I never wanted to compete with you, I said quietly. I wasn't trying to take anything. She nodded slowly, like she was hearing that for the first time. I know that now, she said. I just didn't know how to stop. We didn't cry. We didn't forgive everything. Some things don't disappear just because they're acknowledged. But something shifted. The weight of years, unspoken, mislabeled, minimized, finally had a name. She stood to leave not long after. I don't know what happens next, she said at tea. Life didn't change overnight. There was no dramatic apology tour. No perfect family dinner where everything suddenly made sense. What changed was quieter. And more important, my parents started asking questions and actually waiting for the answers. Not the shortened version. Not the one designed to keep things comfortable. The real one. Sometimes they were awkward. Sometimes they didn't know what to say. But they stayed present. And that was new. Evelyn and I weren't suddenly close. We didn't text every day. We didn't become best friends. But the edge was gone. The need to compete. The need to dominate the room. It had been replaced with something unfamiliar, honesty. Daniel called once. Not to update me. Not to explain his decisions. Just to say thank you. For reminding me, he said, that silence can hide things that matter. I understood what he meant. Silence had hidden me for years. Not because I wasn't visible, but because I'd allowed myself to be misunderstood to keep other people comfortable. I used to think staying quiet was kindness. That if I didn't correct people, if I didn't challenge the story they told about me, I was being generous. I was wrong. Silence didn't protect anyone. It just taught people how small they were allowed to make me. The truth is, you don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just to keep the peace. You don't owe explanations that make others feel better about underestimating you. You don't owe comfort to people who never bothered to see you clearly. If you've ever been there, hiding your growth, softening your success, letting yourself be mislabeled because it felt easier, you're not alone. And you're not wrong for wanting to be seen. Sometimes all it takes is one moment, one question, one word, one decision to stop disappearing. And everything shifts. My name is Verity, and I finally learned that being quiet doesn't make you invisible. Letting yourself be unseen does. If this story resonated with you, share it in the comments.